now we're going to go to the Loire with the most expensive bottle I have ever been able to make fit in the club. So this is called Sanctus from Domaine. It is amphora aged Gamay, which is very cool because if you're used to drinking things like, Beaujolais Nouveau or just generally like Gamay out of the Beaujolais that isn't like a fancy cru, um, you will not expect the way that it tastes. And even from the perspective of the fancy crus, this one is really just next level from all of that because of the way that they have made it. So very excited about this wine. It just, when it just like feels nice and fancy and expensive, like this wine has all of that going for it. So first, just save it for a fancy occasion. It's already aged, but it could probably go for another, I would say 6 to 8 years, depending on how much you sell her. But feel free to even save it till next Valentine's Day or a couple or an anniversary or give it as a gift. Like this is one of those really rare, lovely bottles that we got enough to put in the Red Club and the 12. So good job for picking those clubs. All right, so the color, it's definitely a little bit darker than you're used to seeing, especially if you're doing Nouveau Gamay, but it's not as dark as I was expecting it to be, I guess I would say, like when you put it like this, and it might just be because it also has some of the age on it. It has the rim variation going on, which just means that when you're looking at it, the exterior rim is lighter in color than the middle. Typically that comes from aging. So on the nose, I just love this wine. So this, so it has a lot going on with it. I would say that the first thing I'm getting is like red cherry, which is the most standard thing to get on a red wine, but it also has a bit of like a savoriness to it that I would normally never expect to see with normal expressions of Gamay. And then it also does have some earthy notes. Like I don't know if it's not forest floor. I would say it's drier than that. Like dirt, but in a good way, if that makes sense. Like dry forest floor, maybe without the leaves on it, just like the relatively dry path of the. I don't know. I'm not good at creating an example here, but let's try it. Yum. So it has this beautiful structure. The first thing that I actually get on it that is shocking is almost like strawberries, but before underripe strawberries. That's like the very first thing that hit my palate. And then it went into like these deeper notes of like, I don't know if it was like darker cherries. I gotta expand my palate on this. It's easy. It'll be better if I have more other people weigh in. So let me know what you think as well. Let me try it again because the strawberries got me by surprise initially. All right, so once the strawberries kind of go to the wayside, I would say after that is actually more of like the savory notes for me. It's like not gamey or anything like that, but maybe a little bit meaty, not really leathery either. It's like if you've had a lot of amphora aged reds, or if you haven't, you'll get it on this one and start to see it in the future. There is a specific type of like savoriness that I feel like I normally get on it, that is not like leathery or anything like that. It's really just like meaty in its own way. And I don't know exactly how to describe it, but I'll work on it. And then after that, it continues on with like a bit of like this herbaceous note and then kind of finishes like really long finish. I'm still feeling it. And finishes with some of that like, it's not a bright cherry. It's like a deep, it's like a non-sweet cherry pie cherry, if that makes sense. Like a cooked one that is not sweet. So complex, very. Honestly, a little bit hard to pair just because of what it is. It is very unique in that regard. So I'll have to think about it for a second because I always do these on the fly. As far as pairings go, like this is this is as far as like the nerdy wines, I always say, like pair it with like, your nerdy glasses and a friend so that you can really like every time you try it, especially also maybe chill it initially for like 25 minutes and then see how it develops from going from slightly chilled to room temperature because it's going to show you all different types of things throughout. Like I've Corvon this twice now because sorry, one time I made this video already and I forgot that I had my headphones in my pants. So it was like I was talking underwater. So the first time I made it, it was slightly chilled and I was getting totally different notes than what I'm getting now. So note that because it's going to evolve. Also, I would recommend, like I'm Corvoning it because I want to save the rest of it for a special occasion. But if I was not Corvoning it, I would, and drinking it, I will put it in a decanter. And I would probably put it with, I think I've said this in some of the previous videos, like some meals are just meant for like a meat, a starch, and a vegetable. And this really, I think, plays into that. It would be like, I don't know, like pork loin maybe. I'm not sure what type of sauce. Sauce is very important in this area, and I'd have to think about it a little bit. It could go with some cream sauce. I think it could do well with that. And then something like, broccoli or summer squash or, and then like the other side, I wouldn't go with potatoes. You could, but like rice pilaf is what I'm really thinking. This is incredibly specific. So take this and I'll tell you why I'm thinking these things. I just think that potatoes might be a little bit too starchy versus like a rice pilaf has a better texture for something like this. And then from like a meat perspective, it's Gamay at the end of the day, so it is not a hefty grape by any means. So you do want to stick with, like pork and below as far as like coloring, your poultries. But because it does have this amphora aging and this meatiness to it, I would not go towards anything with fish. Really, oh, you know what? This could be a really great vegetarian wine. This would do great with mushroom dishes, like mushroom risotto. Okay, that's it. Mushroom risotto would be bomb with this, or like squash risotto. Risotto generally. Rice is apparently just rice is so plain, so that makes it seem like I'm like making this wine less nice than it is. But rice is where my mind keeps going with it. I think because it really lets like it has the right texture for it and it lets the like wine show off, and then whatever you put in the rice can be a beautiful complement, like squash or like mushrooms. But yeah, you could also do a turkey, maybe like a smoked turkey. And yeah, that's a lot of options, but generally I love this wine. It is so exciting to have it. I hope you really like do not just open this bottle casually. Do not open this bottle when you're drunk and want something else to drink. Save this bottle. She's nice. She deserves something lovely for her. And yeah, if and when you're thinking about what to put her with, I would highly recommend either risotto or, like I said before, your meat, your starch, or your meat, I guess it's a starch, and your vegetable. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope that you have somewhere really nice to drink it in the future.